Decision time for LG too, I think. I was gonna say, you've got this Vipers that you've been holding on to for literally forever. It finally gets popped at the front doors of A Caves. B-Dog getting aggressive through elbow. Camera comes through, but maybe a touch too late. Doesn't make much of a difference. B-Dog not able to convert on the shot. Misses an opportunity. And now LG are in a little bit of a precarious position here, trying to play with a little bit of forward pressure. They don't really have the ability to stay here. As B-Dog backs up, a more neutral defense will be set by LG.
Yeah, you can see the map calms down a little bit. Cryo looking for that pick into the B side. In the meantime, his teammates are working up mid as well. And you can see Luminosity know this. They've got their Viper's Pit in a forward position, so they are being quite cautious here of mid. And B-Dog has the edge on that one, but no, Cryocel's down to 2 HP. Unbelievable. That is heartbreak again for Luminosity.
And this puts so much stress to LG's defense. You have to trust that Tig can hold his own Viper's Pit by himself. You have to. There's no other option. And Cryo gets blessed as Mata tries to go long range to follow up on the 2 HP that was remaining.
30 seconds left.
Does not find the connection. That will lead to a spike plant. And XSET have gotten away with murder here. 2 straight kills. You avoid the Viper's Pit completely. Now you got a 4-on-3.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I don't think that they've got any or all that much money for a 4-buy in the next round, so they might be thinking about the save here. And they're also at an ult disadvantage as well. So really, Luminosity have everything working against them here as BTJ will catch Moose. And this is nothing that is possible at this point for the remainder of LG. Another great round coming through from XSET. I mean,
from
the Viper's Pit. Right. He is pretty insane. You feel bad for B-Dog because he actually had that opening shot. He lurked down elbow, and this might actually be something that they could think about more often. Is some of this elbow aggression as an operator presence didn't deliver, and that was the main issue. As you can see, he gets the connection, but
round 11. And this is difficult, I would say, from Luminosity from here on forward. You're dealing with XSET on their best map. They smoked you on this map in week 5. You're trying something new, and largely speaking, XSET have still ran through this map freely. So you really feel like this setup where you're bringing in the Sky instead of the KO this time around has not really provided the value they think that it was.
Ooh, Moose has found a timing. Actually, he might get a catch as the push comes into the B site. Moose, indeed, what a shot there onto BCJ. Very little weaponry to work with, but LG doing what they can, and that retake wall backside from Tig is doing some work here, providing him that extra cover to get that 1v1 and keep the presence backside alive. Despite the spike being down, despite the Viper's Pit being there on that spike, there is a good chance here for Luminosity as they bring themselves together in this retake.
The thing is, Def is on a late lurk. He could maybe stop this post plant just by being the last one in. But it does require that the members inside this Viper's Pit do stay alive, and Def does catch B-Dog. So now, LG, you have to go. You've got to go quicker than this, too. Adrian's still holding on to every single corner possible, able to see Moose, but not able to convert on the elimination. Hold on a second. We've got a defuse starting to come through. Adrian will fall. Now it's all down to Def. 3 different members to deal with. Gets the first 2, but does not handle the third. And LG...
Effort from Tig, though. The player that really held down the ground at the backside with that retake wall. You can see him operating here to get a couple picks. And again, that space allowed his teammates to get into position. And that is everything in these retakes.
5-7 would be unbelievable for Luminosity considering where you just were a second ago. And how about more aggression from B-Dog? But once again, just a bit amiss. It does put at least XSET quite literally into a corner here, although they are trying to work through it by once again pushing through mid-map. That'll find Mata, and with that, now numbers advantage of the Hunter's Fury will seem to suggest maybe an execute, but or so you would think, that they're going to rewrap back and use Cryo's position as a way to kind of pivot over towards B.
Yeah, pretty fast movement here, and Cryo's looking to punish any plays for information in mid. And this is going to be a tough move. Oh, gets beyond it and actually finds the kill into Def. Very unexpected, but still, XSET looking to power their way into the site. They get backside control as Cryo is causing issues in mid. And it's down to Tig and Dazzle now in the 2 versus 3, trying to scrape together that very last round.
Cryo's watching for this. And now that he's heard it, you just give the information over, put Tig in the worst position possible, find the easy kill. 8 for the half.
On. And there is a trip there, so they'll have to go through that. We'll see how the response is. Almost looked like you could hop over it, but we'll get the walk through. And this is really it's a super call.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Really from both sides, because, yeah, you've got a full stack from Luminosity through Halt, but XSET are in a position to deal with this because they backed off the A side almost completely. You've got help through mid, and they've almost entrapped LG completely. And, well, I say almost. I think we could definitively put the nail in the coffin on this one. That is a really interesting setup for Luminosity, but XSET had every read they possibly could need to deal with it.
Yeah, there was a great stoppage. And... I mean, I had really high hopes for that one from Luminosity's perspective. I was looking to get the drop here on Cryo. Not going to happen, though.
It would be, I think, in their best interest, I was about to say, to try to get XSET as thinned out as possible by showing force on multiple points. But unfortunately, again, it's B-Dog versus Cryo Cells. This sniper v sniper battle, let alone the Jet v Jet, has been dominated by Cryo Cells so far. And that puts LG in a pretty impossible position. 4v5, they do allow Mata a chance to get this Marshall back in hand, so at least you have some tool to work with. But I say that with the emphasis that I chose to, because you don't really feel hopeful that one Marshall will get the job done.
Yeah. It's definitely a question of seeing if you can get just eke out some damage, collect the ultimate orbs, and try to pressure the economy of your opponent. You don't expect to win the round, but maybe Mata has a good angle here. Won't be able to catch the kill though, or really any damage onto Aaron, and now they're stuck again behind the utility. As we can see, now we get some angles worked in mid as well at the same time. But LG is starting to run out of health, starting to run out of players and time as well.
Yeah, they're running out of everything, Dan. Aaron on the back, he read this whole rotation and single-handedly will deal with it. And it's going to be a Prime Gaming flawless for XSET. And seeing just off the opening peaks once again. And you have to wonder, how much longer are LG going to trust that B-Dog can take this face-up gunfight for a first blood? Because so far they have largely missed every opportunity he's tried to take.
Yeah, it's one of those, if it truly is the plan for this bonus, this should be quite interesting. B-Dog, speaking of which, is going to make his way up halls.
No.
Oh, 2 players. Bit tricky, that one. And sadly, Luminosity are in a really tricky spot now. Will be making their way forward, and so far they are wrapping the side effectively, dealing with those defenders. They've got the space to plant the spike now.
Tank caught though on the reload. I was about to say, his route through the double doors is exquisite for Luminosity, trying to stop XSET from reinforcing the site, but he gets caught maybe going a little bit too far forward. And now it's on to Dazzle. 1v3. Has a little bit of space to work with, and one shock dart. Isolates for the first onto Aaron. Flash will come through, and that actually doesn't really amount to too much, but eventually the KO of Zekin will come around the corner, find the timing needed, and it will be XSET who take the 11th round.
Yeah, so far in this tournament, we've seen a really good Spectre 3 Vandals. Not a good look. Looking to try to go for that orb early on through shop, and at the same time, B-Dog, again, trying to keep that presence towards the A-holes, but there's that tripwire there, so that can, unless you deal with that, it's pretty safe for XSET.
That's been the only defense through Hall so far, Dan. Has just been one trapwire. Late Aldrun will come through. And it is important to note here on 4-11, you have to force buy, I think, if you're LG and you want to make a comeback in this map. So this is do or die. This is the game. Dazzle mid-map. A little windy out there, but does take down Def without actually surfacing any damage in response. So a clean kill comes through, even though the engagement itself was a little sloppy. And now Cryo, looking to cut off Elbow, will be the only defender here at B. And I don't believe that 0 point actually fully connects either. So the information on Moose is a bit amiss here. And Luminosity may be thinking that, well, if he didn't get tagged by that, maybe we can rotate deep and get over towards B. And that would be a mistake, because Cryo Cells is watching this Elbow push.
Yeah, obviously, Moose doesn't know this. He's a free B site right now. And what's interesting is if they try to go for a fake into the A site, there is a world where Moose tries to lock up. If he clears it, they can have a way back. Cryo Cells will be an issue later on, but Aaron able to take down B-Dog there in that little nook, and they will indeed use it as a fake. They're going to go back, and indeed, we've got Moose with all of this clear space. Cryo is going to get caught, but somehow gets a connection. They're lucky not to lose another one, but that might still be the case. Cryo doesn't seem to realize there was another one still in spawn, and now they're quite spread apart. Moose has to win these battles, and it's not going to be a success here against VCJ. Cryo will not whiff. And
Too
looks
good.
like everything's under control. Yeah, default pressure across the map here, but at the same time, Cryostyles will be pushing B main. I'm not sure how deep he's going to go, but holding that position. Sees the cage, so, you know, would probably expect that Moose, being the Cypher, is the lurk player. And he's calling the bluff there. He's got that dash, so Crow can keep walking forward, and he can cause problems. We'll see, though, what's going to happen, though, because Luminosity, they have that mid control. They've gotten the orb there towards Cave. And it seems like Cryo's playing it passively towards Elbow at the moment. But if they rotate back to him, obviously that's a free kill. And then the round starts to get very difficult for Luminosity. Oh, they're very lucky about that.
But even still, off of that miss, XSET are like, Cryo, you got that, right? And he's like, yep, got it. He's just still 4 stacked over towards A with tons of Cypher utility to the mid. But B-Dog, who continues to lurk over through halls, is able to turn this into a double. Maybe this is the awakening of B-Dog that we need to see. But is it maybe a day late and $1 short? That's the real question. And as LG will get access to the B zone, you've got Moose also getting the information on who's rotating over defensively through the defensive spawn.
Oh no! VCJ is going to come out of the drone after spotting Moose, and Moose will not get the punish. That is very unfortunate because that could end up costing them the round. We'll see what Luminosity can do here on this defense. The weaponry is really a cause for concern, but what a shot from Dazzle, absolutely nailing Cryo and Def. Just assassinating them, and now BCJ's got nothing to work with.
So you've got at least something there as far as a major weapon is concerned going into the next round. It just comes down still. I hate to just take this out of both teams' hands and put it largely into the Jets, but this entire map, I think you could probably go back and just watch the individual 1v1s between Cryo and B-Dog, and that could be summarizing this entire map so far. The operator on Moose coming forward here, Dan.
Yeah, and Moose is lurking in that B lobby position, so looking to catch any of the pushes. The setup here is obviously quite defensive here. You know, you could have a Zekon on site who can play off of the tripwire, so it doesn't ever actually have to peek. There's no need to actually peek that if you're relying on this double trip setup.
Well, Moose with the spike and the operator. Like, this is all in on Moose being able to work this for Luminosity.
Yeah, and the cam is set up in mid here, so they're relying completely on Def and Zekon here on the defense. There comes the push, the dash in, the spray is fantastic there from Zekon. Oh my god, he's taken down absolutely every last one. The ace to close the game, 13-5.